So, if you're in the 3D world, you have definitely heard the name Houdini. And let's be real, it's usually said with a mix of respect and maybe a little bit of terror. We all know it's the absolute beast behind Hollywood's biggest, craziest effects, but it also has this legendary reputation for being mind-bendingly complex. Today, we're going to crack it open and see what really makes this thing tick.
And yeah, that reputation, it's not for nothing. The first time you open up Houdini, it really does feel like this. It's just a wall of options. It can be super overwhelming. This quote just nails that feeling. But trust me, there is a method to the madness, and once you get the logic behind all the chaos, it all starts to click.
Okay, so let's try to get past that scary reputation. What is Houdini really all about? I mean, yeah, it's famous for blowing things up in spectacular fashion, for sure. But its power goes so much deeper than just blockbuster explosions.
At its very core, this is the definition you need to burn into your brain. The two magic words here are node-based and procedural. See, unlike other software where you're directly grabbing and moving points, in Houdini, you build systems. You connect these little boxes called nodes that tell the software how to create something. This gives you an absolutely insane amount of control and flexibility.
And this is where we just shatter that first big myth. Yes, it's the undisputed king of the effects and sims, but look at this list. It's used for making game assets, for slick motion graphics, for generating huge environments. You can even use it for rigging, character work, and just plain old 3D modeling. This thing is not a one-trick pony. It is a full-on creative Swiss Army knife.
So how in the world does it do all that stuff? Well, the answer comes down to one single massive idea. It's a fundamental shift in how you think, and once it clicks for you, everything changes. This is what we call the Houdini aha moment. And this slide illustrates that shift perfectly. Think of a traditional 3D program like drawing a picture. You make a mark on the canvas, and that's it. It's there. Changing it later is a pain. Houdini, on the other hand, is like writing a recipe. You lay out every single step, and if you decide you want to change something, say add a little more spice, you just go back to that step in the recipe, make the change, and the final dish updates automatically.
Okay, let's make this real. How would you build a brick wall with one of these recipes? It's simple. First, you create just one box. That's your brick. Then you make a flat grid. That's the shape of your wall. Next, you just scatter a bunch of points all over that grid. And finally, you tell Houdini, hey, see that brick from step 1? Copy it onto every single one of those points. And boom, 4 easy steps.
And this is the magic trick. This is the whole point. Because you built a recipe, you can go all the way back to step 1 and change the shape of that original brick, and instantly, every single brick in your entire wall updates. Or you can go to step 2, make the wall way taller, and the recipe just automatically adds more bricks. This is what non-destructive means, and it's why it's such a big deal. For studios, this saves literally hundreds of hours.
All right, so you get the concept. You're building recipes, not just objects. But how does this whole philosophy really stack up against the other tools that you might already be using? Let's do a quick, friendly little face-off.
So let's start with the big one, Houdini versus Blender. As you can see, it's really a story of trade-offs. Blender is way easier to get started with, and it's fantastic if you just need to knock out a single one-off asset really quickly. Houdini has that notoriously steep learning curve, but its procedural first way of thinking makes it unbelievably scalable and customizable. That's exactly why it's the industry standard for really complex VFX pipelines.
Now, what about a game engine like Unreal? I mean, both have procedural tools, right? But the philosophy is completely different. In Unreal, the procedural tools are features that are designed for specific jobs, like building game levels. In Houdini, proceduralism isn't just a feature, it's the very DNA of the entire program. Everything is a recipe.
And finally, let's look at a specialized tool like Embergen. If you need some fire or smoke, like right now with instant feedback, Embergen is incredible. It's so fast. Houdini's fire solver is way deeper, giving you this super precise cinematic level control. But it's not instant. It's kind of like the difference between a high-speed go-kart and a Formula One race car that you can tune to absolute perfection.
Now, all this comparing might make it sound like you have to pick a side and stick with it, but that's not how it works at all. Houdini is actually designed to be a fantastic team player in a bigger creative workflow.
The key thing to know is that you are never locked into Houdini.
You can build some ridiculously complex water simulation, then export it as an Alembic file. That's perfect for capturing all that animated geometry. Or you could build a procedural building, then just export it as a standard FBX model and drop it right into a game engine. It just plays nice with everyone.
And this right here is the main point. You don't have to throw away the tools you already know and love. You should think of Houdini as a supercharger for your existing pipeline. It's that specialized tool you bring in when you need that next-level control, that massive scale, and that non-destructive power.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question. We've seen what it is, how it thinks, how it stacks up against the competition. So, should you actually invest the time to learn this thing?
Let's put it another way. We all know Houdini has a reputation for being a steep, tough mountain to climb. But is the view from the top really worth all that effort? Well, the honest answer really depends on your goals. If you're trying to build large-scale worlds, design custom tools for a game studio, or create complex VFX where a director might ask for a huge change at the last minute, then yes, 100% yes. That scalability isn't just a cool feature, it's a project saver. It means one person can generate 1,000 different versions, or a tiny team can manage a whole city without starting over every single time. The power it gives you is just unmatched.
But look, you don't have to tackle the whole mountain on day one. Start small. Remember that recipe idea? Just try building a few simple recipes first. A rock generator is a classic first project for a reason. Or make a simple fence that you can just procedurally make longer or shorter. It's these small wins that build the foundation you need to really get it.
So, I want you to think of Houdini as just an empty recipe book, waiting there for your ideas. The real power isn't just in making cool explosions, it's in the freedom to create basically anything you can imagine, one step at a time. So the only question left is, what's the first recipe you're going to write?